Welcome all back to Election Time News, your one-stop for political summations, poll reviews, nonpartisan predictions, and reviews and compilations on other political forecasters. Today is Friday, September 27th, 2024, and today I'll be going over updates on the Senate map. If you like content like this, make sure to subscribe. I'll be giving weekly updates on the presidential election predictions, leading all the way up to a video with my final prediction right before Election Day, as well as periodic updates on Senate races. I have a goal of 250 subscribers by Election Day, so do me a favor and click on that bright red button. The margins for today are as follows. Safe, the darkest shade of each color, is essentially these states that you can gamble your life savings away on that a candidate will win. They will not flip no matter what. Likely are the second darkest color, are states that are basically safe, but not sudden landslide flip proof. Lean states are states that a candidate has a notable edge in, and may indicate who may win, but it's not guaranteed. And tilt is when a candidate has a slight edge that may help on election day, but the race is still basically up in the air, and is almost anyone's game. I'm basing these off of Polymarket odds that I have open here, the Senate map, and polls based on 538. I will be basing on polls on other platforms in other videos. Today I'm using 538. Now, starting off with the safe states for the Democrats, we have Washington, California, Hawaii, New Mexico, Minnesota, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Maine, and Virginia. Now, Maine is actually most likely going to a Democrat caucusing independent. Now, for the Republicans, we have Wyoming, Utah, North Dakota, Nebraska's normal election, Missouri, Indiana, and West Virginia, as well as Tennessee and Mississippi. Now, a few states may be interesting on leaving these out, some of you, but I will get to them in a minute. All of these safe states have been polling very strongly in favor of their respective candidates, and sometimes an opponent is barely even officially given because of how strong the state leans in one direction or the other. So next up are the likely candidates, another lot of Democrat states, the Rust Belt trio of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, as well as Arizona and Nevada for the Democrats. And then for the Republicans, we have the special election in Nebraska. We have Florida, and then we have Texas, which just leaves the two battlegrounds left, Ohio and Montana. Now, to start things out, going over the likely choices for these, looking at the Polymarket odds, all three of these are in the 80%, 80%, and 84%. Looking over here, we have 84% and then 83%, and all of them have been polling relatively well. We have Arizona, Gallego ahead by 6 and 9 points, and these done by the New York Times. And then we have Baldwin ahead by 5 in Wisconsin in this poll by Renfield and Wilton Strategies. And by the same pollster, we have Casey ahead by 6. In Nevada, we have Rosen ahead by 9. Michigan, Slotkin ahead by 9. And then again, Gallego plus 5. So all of these are healthy leads, and based on Polymarket, again, they're all in the 80% range. Then for the Republicans, the special Senate race is an interesting scenario. Now, this is actually, there's no Democrat running there. There is one, but that is not who is potentially winning. It's a Democrat caucusing independent named Osborne is only down by a point to Fisher. Now, this is only one outlying poll. This is the only one that looks like this. There's another one where Fisher's only ahead by 1, Fisher's only ahead by 2, done by Osborne's, but this one, split ticket, has Fisher ahead by one single one. Now, this one, interestingly, one done by Deb Fisher has Fisher ahead by 26, but then one done by Dan Osborne has Fisher ahead by 2, and then this one has Fisher ahead by 1. So obviously there has been a large increase in the past 2 months for support of Dan Osborne against Deb Fisher. So now Fisher's only ahead by 1, and this is the normal election, Ricketts versus Love, and Ricketts is definitely going to take this one. That is why this is safe. This one's only likely because of those 2 polls that are only ahead by 1, but most likely I feel that Deb Fisher has an 89% chance against 11 for Dan Osborne, but these 2 polls here are slightly convincing that there might be a very slight chance that Osborne might be able to pull off a large upset, which is why I have it in as likely as opposed to safe red. Then we have Texas and Florida, both of which have actually been polling relatively low compared to how they both performed, even in 2022, with the blue wave, essentially. And so down in Florida, we have Scott only ahead by 4 with 1,602 likely voters. And then if we go down to Texas, we have Cruz ahead by 3. And there's actually a poll here with all red ahead by 1 point. Now, this is R plus 7 Texas, with a Democrat winning a poll for the Senate with 2,000 likely voters, done by the Morning Consult. This is a huge flag that people absolutely hate Cruz. People do hate Ted Cruz in Texas for the most part. And here, Cruz ahead by 3, so these are relatively close. There's a chance that there might be a large upset. However, on Polymarket, they still do have Ted Cruz ahead with an 83% chance to Colin Allred's 17%. And similarly, in Florida, in the lower 80 range, Rick Scott ahead by 83% against McCarcel Powell. So these are both going to be unlikely. And then we have the last two states. Currently, there is a tie in the Senate, 50-50. And there are 3 states up to flip for the Republicans that are currently held by Democrats: Montana, Ohio, and West Virginia. Now, the situation in West Virginia is that very popular Democratic senator there that actually switched to independent, but he still caucuses with Democrats, relatively moderate, and he is retiring, and the current governor of West Virginia is running for senator. He is a Republican. He is easily going to flip that seat, so that is why that is going to go safe. There is one flip for the Republicans that is now going to go red. That is huge to start things off. Then we have the Montana race and the Ohio race. Montana is Tim Sheehy versus John Tester. John Tester is the incumbent. However, there appears to be, according to Polymarket, a 3-to-1 chance that Sheehy is going to win the seat. So we're going to put that in as lean Republican, which means that even if they do lose the presidential election, which as of now it looks like they will have control of the Senate. Now, of course, chance-wise, according to Polymarket, there's a relatively good chance that Democrats will win the House, and there's a 75% chance that the Republicans will win the Senate, because the Republicans only need to win one of these 2 races, Montana or Ohio, and Sherrod Brown has the narrowest of leads. He is the incumbent in Ohio. He is a moderate Democrat. He is right in the middle. Current polling has him ahead by a very small amount. I believe there was also a poll that I saw here that had him tied. But if I can find, I'm actually going to go up here and just select. Oh, there was another one with also Brooks versus. Oh, that's also Brooks. That's in Maryland. Going and oh, crap. I don't know what I am doing. All right, we're looking in Ohio. There we go. All right, Brown versus Moreno. We actually have a poll of Moreno +2. However, this is a very small sample size, only 400 likely voters. Now, this one with almost 1,500 likely voters, it was done about a week ago, but it has Brown up by 2. This one with over 1,500 likely voters, Brown +3. This one done by fellow predictors, On Point Politics and Red Eagle Politics, the beginning of the month. We have Brown +5 with only 600 likely voters, with about 1,000 likely voters, done by Emerson College and The Hill. Brown +1, Brown +3, Brown +2. His lead has been slowly deteriorating, and we even have a Moreno +2 poll. So this is looking like bad news, but as of right now, just based on the fact that he is the incumbent, and that there is overall abortion on the ticket, and that Ohio voted to keep their abortion rights that was going through on a constitutional amendment in the last election season in 2023, I do actually see Ohio staying blue as of right now. That may change, as we're going to have to keep on looking at the polls. I'll absolutely keep watching the polls. This poll is problematic for the Brown campaign, as even though it is only 400 likely voters, It's been going on for about a month, which means that that's including some polling that was done even in late August. And if some of his support has been dropping since then, that means that he has a lot to catch back up on. These more recent ones with large sample sizes are more likely to be more accurate, and they seem to be relatively precise as 1, 3, and 2. They're very close to each other, but the concern is still there for the Brown campaign. And then, of course, going in and looking at the polls from Montana, this is a large problem as Sheehy is consistently being ahead. This one where Tester is ahead is only by 540. It's registered voters, but it's only by it's only 540, and they're all relatively small sample sizes. This one by Emerson College done at the beginning of August. None of these have been done anytime recently. All of them have been done over a month ago at this point. But 600 likely voters each, and he's ahead by 6 and 8 when you include the third-party candidates. So it appears that Tester is in a bit of a tricky situation here. And again, looking back at Polymarket, it only has Tester with a 24% chance of winning. So the Montana seat is most likely going to flip, which means that Republicans will take control of the Senate as of right now. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you like and subscribe to this video, and have a fabulous rest of your day.